All right, everybody, we are now live on YouTube. Thanks for joining Leads to ROI weekly live trainings. Last Tuesday, we went over just a couple days ago, we went over how to go and find the best audience of renters so that you can send out things like direct mails, go ahead and upload those audiences into Facebook and run targeted ads to them. And we did a complete breakdown on 3 different platforms that you guys can go into so that you can download audiences that you want to go and target via direct mail and through marketing on social and other platforms. Now, today we're going to kick things off, picking up right where we left off from that last training. We're going to show you guys how to install your Facebook pixel into your websites, where you're going to be driving these leads to as they come through, as they go ahead and click and go to your website. And start looking at your stuff. It's going to teach you how to go ahead and retarget, re-engage, get back in front of those folks. So we'll go ahead and dive right in. I'm going to share my screen. So this is going to be a step-by-step guide. And you guys, once we complete this 5-day training, we're going to get you all access to this slideshow, but we are building it out as we're doing these trainings. So these slides before were the slides that we covered on Tuesday, and what we're going to cover today is going to be these slides here. And then we're going to continue to add on to this until we've completed all of the steps in this particular training and go all the way through 7. So today we're going to be covering this section right here for Facebook ads, targeting the exact same audience that you guys are going to be targeting with your direct mailers, and how to re-engage and track them once they hit your site from that direct mailer and put an ad right back in front of them. So you guys, these step-by-step instructions will walk you through everything that you need to know so that you can go ahead and install your pixel. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to facebook.com/events_manager. So this events manager is where we need to go so that we can actually capture our pixel. So I'm going to use our leads to ROI pixel for this, just to showcase and give you guys an idea of how to knock this all out. So, but essentially these steps are going to take you through exactly what I'm going to walk through right now so that you guys can see how to do this. So in Events Manager, we have this add events down here just above Pixel Conversion API. Now you can see we're already tracking a whole bunch of stuff. We've got 4.8K visitors on our site and leads to ROI. And so all we have to do here is click that add events, and we're going to say from a new website right here. Once you click from a new website, we're going to then go ahead and click install code manually. Now, once we've done that, it's actually going to take us to this very first page. I walked through this briefly just so that I can create the slideshow and show this to you guys. And I wanted to make sure that in case any of the steps with Facebook have changed, I can make sure that I have an updated slideshow. So the first thing it's going to bring you to is this install the base code page. All you're going to have to do is copy the base code here. And once you've copied this base code, this is where we're going to have to install it onto a website. So if you guys are using leads to ROI, which I know most of the folks that are on this training are, what you would be doing is actually updating this inside of your sites section. So from the main dashboard in leads to ROI, you'll go ahead and click on sites. And then you can go ahead and click on the desired page that you want to use. Now, last week we showed this very brief buyer seminar that we created. Kelly Wheeler actually had access to these videos that are on here. So I just wanted to show you guys an example of what you could send those folks to and what a landing page could look like and what kind of content you could add to those. So there's 2 different ways to add this pixel to your site in leads to ROI. So number 1, when you're in the site settings itself, we can just click on settings. You can see this head tracking code here. All we have to do is paste that code directly in right here to the head tracking code and go ahead and click save. Now, another step that I want to make sure that I do on this as well is I want to make sure that I add a domain to this. So I'm going to use this kellywheeler.residencevalues. So that way I know that I have a domain that's linked to this particular funnel, so that as I add in the pixel and go through all the steps, we can walk through what we want the pixel to track. Now, the second way to add this into your page would actually be to click the edit button here. You can click edit page, and this way you can add pixels to specific pages if you choose to only plug them into specific pages. I highly recommend using the main page in the main settings because that will track all of the pages that those folks will go through. But you can simply click settings here, tracking code, click into the tracking code and go ahead and just paste that into here. And it's going to populate right there. And then once we click yes, save, it's going to save the pixel to the site. Now I'm going to take a couple more steps because I want to show you guys pixel installations all the way through and different places where you guys want to do those. So we'll actually jump into KV Core next because I know there's a handful of folks that are using KV Core on this call as well. So from KV Core, your main dashboard is going to show things like your conversations, the properties that your leads are looking at, all of those good things. You guys from here would then go into Web and IDX. From Web and IDX, you're going to want to click this Edit Settings button right here. And I believe there's another one down below, but we'll just click Edit Settings here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down on this page until we find Custom Header. So I'm not going to paste this in because this is actually Kelly's KV Core, but you can see that we have this pixel code that's already been installed here. So what you want to do is paste in your pixel code and then go ahead and hit save once you've pasted in your correct pixel code. And then you will be able to start tracking folks on your KV Core website. So we've got that out of the way. That's how you install the pixel onto your site. But there's a couple more steps that we need to follow. So I've added it to this particular site and I'm going to show on this, for example, and then you guys will be able to see how this all works as far as the pixel setup goes. So we're going to then take this domain that we have linked to the page, and we're going to pull this this particular domain right here, and we are then going to plug this in on the very next step. So actually the next step in here, once we've installed the pixel code and we've added it to the site, is we want to make sure that we have automatic advanced matching turned on. So what this is going to do is it's going to make sure that Facebook is doing everything that it can to pinpoint that ideal client. So once they hit your website and Facebook starts tracking them, they're going to use Facebook's ID to track that particular contact. But as we're using Facebook's ID to track that contact, it is also going to try to figure out exactly who they are. So this way we can match and verify the city, state, zip that they're in, their email address, their first name, last name, country, external ID, phone number, date of birth, and gender. Now, for housing ads specifically, date of birth and gender don't really play any role for us, but we still want to make sure that we're capturing that data if we can, because we may be able to use it for another purpose down the road. So what we would do here, once we have all of these toggled to the on position where it's blue like this and light blue on one side, instead of, you guys can see it's black on one side and white on the other, we want them to be toggled on. We can then go ahead and click continue. Now, this next page is going to be add events using event setup tool. So what this is going to do is it's going to make it so that we can avoid any kind of code that we would be adding into this. Oh, and it looks like I've got people that are trying to get in as well. Hey, Kelly, I'm going to make you a co-host so that you can admit everybody that's trying to join into the meeting.
Yeah, sounds good.
So we've got a lot of folks that are trying to join on in while I'm going through this.
Go ahead and make me co-host, Bryan, and I'll pay attention to people joining.
Okay. And William, you are a co-host as well. So
Thank you, sir.
and Kelly are both co-hosts. And there's Merlene. Awesome. So just quick little recap for those that are coming in. We are walking through how to get your pixel set up. There is a live recording of this. You guys will be able to see the first couple of steps in that live recording. And we're also live on YouTube. So if you pop into Leads to ROI, search for Leads, LEADS, space TO, space ROI on YouTube, you'll find us. This is a live video that we're recording right now. So you guys will also be able to, once we get to this page, you'll be able to skip any kind of code that you would actually have to plug in order to track these folks. So the setup tool makes things super easy, and it saves us having to do a ton of legwork as far as adding in code to our pages for specific events. If you guys didn't have this tool, this automatic matching right here, we would actually have to plug in a specific piece of code for each one of these sections in order for the pixel to work properly. So this is my recommendation, because that way, for anybody that's trying to get through this, you don't have to have any knowledge of coding or anything along those lines using this event setup tool. So all we're going to do now is we're going to plug in this URL and we're going to click open website. And I just added it, so I'm hoping this works. Sometimes it takes a little while. Perfect. So you guys will get this little window in the top left corner that's going to be your event setup tool, right? And so what we want to do here is we want to go ahead and click this tracking button, and we can actually go ahead and click on certain things. Now, I didn't add a button to this, so it's going to make things actually somewhat difficult, but I'm going to use these in the interim. Let's just pretend that this about section right here is actually a button down here, and that button says get started or get the ball rolling. All we have to do is click on the area or the button that it's going to be, and then we select the type of event here of what we would like to see, right? So you can see we have view content, we've got subscribe, we've got submit applications, start trial, search, schedule, find location, donate, customize product, contact, complete registration, add to wish list, add payment info, purchase, lead, initiate cart, or initiate checkout and add to cart. So what I would do on this particular page, and actually let me jump back into here and make some edits to this so that I can show you guys how I would recommend actually doing this. So this will take a little bit of time, but it'll make things make much more sense. So I'm going to go ahead and add a column here and then a button. Click to sign up. That sounds great to me. I'm going to have this instead of opening pop-up. Well, yeah, let's have this open pop-up. Go ahead and open the pop-up, and we will select a form. And let's go ahead and just say that we are going to use our one of our buyer forms on this. So let's go ahead and say form, and then for forms, let's go ahead and use the USDA home form. So this is a form that we have for like down payment assistance, things along those lines. USDAs are 0 down loans in most cases. And then what I would do is just add a header to this at the top. Well, let's just say take a moment to tell us what you are looking for in your next home. All right, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and just click save on this. I do need to create one more page though, you guys. So I'm sorry about that. This will just take 1 second out of the training for me to add this in. So what we're going to do, just add one more page to the back end of this so that once we submit the form, it has somewhere to go. And we're going to add a thank you page. So thank you. And I'm going to make this very basic. So it's going to look basic, but I'm doing that for a reason, just so that I can get through this training for you guys. So we're going to go ahead and go here, column, and we will add in a headline. Thank you for submitting your information. Our team will be reaching out to you shortly. Question mark or exclamation point. And then we can go ahead and we can add something like an image below. And we can just go in relocated items and just say this prime real estate, for example. Awesome. So now I'm going to go back to the original page. Sorry about that little hiccup, you guys. I'm going to go back to this regular page here, copy this, and we're going to start this events manager tool again. I'm going to go ahead and paste that in, click open setup. Then we'll have the events manager tool populate here. You guys can see that we had that form set to open on landing on the page. You guys can toggle that on or off in the funnel builder itself. What we can do here is click new button, and I'm going to say click to sign up. Right, so this button, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is somebody that initiated checkout. Now, with this, I know that we don't have any currency that we're doing on here, but there's a method to the madness on this. We don't have a way to say that somebody clicked on a form itself. So the initiated checkout is something that we've always kind of used as a placeholder for other things with the Pixel. And you can go back and you can retarget these folks that initiated checkout or initiated their lead process but didn't quite fill out the form. And so we're going to dive into those audiences and how to create them here once we get through the pixel setup. So it'll all make sense soon. So the first step will be to do initiate checkout. And then what we do is once they've actually clicked on this, we're going to go ahead and track a new button. And this is the button that we're going to track here. And we're going to say this is now a lead. So we'll go ahead and confirm. So basically what we have here is somebody that's clicked on this button to get started has initiated checkout. And then once they've actually completed the form itself, now they're going to be registered in our pixel as a lead. So it's going to capture that info. So the next thing that we're going to do is just go ahead and click finish setup here. Now, of course, if you guys are doing this on a website, or if you're doing it, say in KV Core, for example, and there's menu buttons and navigation and all of those kinds of things, we do have a much more in-depth setup that we want you guys to use. And we actually walk you through this pixel setup in BKnown University for those KV Core members that are looking to set their KV Core up so their whole site has everything. You guys can do it all through there.
And Bryan does a great job, by the way, guys, on the KV Core pixel setup. We actually show the detailed events that you should select, and we also show the events that you should match those to inside of your KV Core. So search goes to search, view content is view content. There's a few other main ones on there. Customized products is similar. So yeah, Bryan does a great job on the video inside of BKnown University, and it's a really simple setup to get your KV Core site tracking all of that data so that you can have a great retargeting campaign. Make sure that you are saving those audiences from any lead generation that you do, or just from anybody who's going onto your website on KV Core doing, form submissions for home valuations or a free market update, things like that. You want to make sure that you're tracking those people so that you can have a lot of future referencing. So anyways, continue, Bryan. Sorry to cut in there.
Absolutely. Actually, it gave me time to share our YouTube channel into the chat because we've got a couple of folks that want to see it.
Yeah.
Awesome. So now that we've gone ahead and walked through the event setup tool, it's pretty straightforward. We're just going to go ahead and click continue. The next step that we need to do is actually to verify the domain. So anytime you guys are running anything with your pixel in Facebook, they want you to verify that domain now before you can start tracking. So all you have to do is click on that button to verify domain. It's going to then bring you into your business manager here. You guys can see we've got a ton of these domains that are verified because these are all of the, not all of them, but we've got them separated between accounts. But these are a handful of the agents that we have in Leads to ROI, where we're doing all of this tracking and setting everything up for you guys. All right, so what we're going to do is click the add button. And you're just going to simply go ahead and plug in the domain. I copied the YouTube channel, so we'll go ahead and copy the domain, move back. And once you've gone ahead and added the domain in, and what is going on? So it says confirm domain is exactly formatted.
It's the end.
So we'll remove this end path here. So kellywheeler.residencevalues.com, and this should add, you can only add it to one business. Oh, we already have it.
We already have it.
This domain's already been added into here, and that's why it won't let me do it. You guys will click add. You'll go ahead and plug your domain in. You don't need to have the HTTPS. So you can see here, it says don't add prefixes HTTPS or HTTPS or HTTP : / or HTTPS : / just use the domain itself and then go ahead and click add. So for example, if this was Kelly Wheeler's KV Core, it would be kellywheeler.exprealty.com. And that's the domain that you would add. If it's one of your Leads to ROI funnels, we provide everybody with search residence value, and a handful of other domains like bookingwithme.com. And so we use your first name, last name, .bookingwithme.com. Those are all domains that we own, that we give out to our agents in our platform so that you guys don't have to go and purchase domains to get websites up and running. It's just one step to save you guys a little bit of time. So once you've gone ahead and verified your domains, you're going to go ahead and click continue. And then we're just going to have a configure web events here. Now, under configuring web events, these are all going to be based off of essentially what you've already set up with the setup tool. And this is just going to make sure that, okay, our website, our things are verified, and anybody that's clicked on this site, meaning yourself, as you're going through this process, that it's now tracking and logging that information. Now we just go ahead and click go to Pixel Overview. Then it brings us right back to the main page. And here we go. So review which limited conversions. So this is just a thing to go ahead and review specific events that just popped up for us. But you'll be able to see all of your tracking and how many people have been on your site all right here inside of your Pixel. So now that we've covered installing your Pixel, the next step is going to be how to create an audience from Facebook, from your website traffic. So again, with this whole premise, we found a list of renters through Mailbox Power, Remind, or My Plus Leads neighborhood data that we're going to be sending direct mailers out to. We've gone ahead and we've selected folks that have a credit score over 700, that are making over 100,000 in annual income, and have been renting for more than 3 months within a specified area. So for those that missed the last training, that is what we covered, is how to go into these different platforms and pull the data necessary to start sending direct mailers out to these potential buyers, that you can put yourself directly in front of, that have the credit, are more than likely going to have the savings necessary, and are going to be in a position to where they probably want to make a purchase because they've been renting for a while. So when it comes to creating the audience, now we've got a postcard that's going out. We're tracking everybody on our Pixel once they use the QR code on that postcard, or they type in the website URL and land on that page. Now what we're going to do is create an audience of those folks, so that as soon as we start getting folks to go to those pages from getting these direct mails, we can then re-engage them and retarget them in a very low cost and effective Facebook ad. So what we're going to do is go into businessmanager.com. So business.facebook.com/ads-manager/audiences. And this is going to take us to the page that we need to get to go ahead and build out these audiences. And again, once this training has been fully completed, you guys will have access to the slideshow with the step-by-step instructions. And I think we've got 3 more training series to do with this. So it will be not the next week, but the following week, probably on Wednesday, that we'll get access to everybody, get everybody access to this particular slideshow with the step-by-step instructions. In the meantime, if you guys want to take screenshots of this while we're on Zoom, you can take a screenshot of this page for your installation. And I'll give 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You guys go ahead and take a screenshot of this page as well for creating the audience. These are the step-by-step instructions. And I'll give that another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you guys can go back, look at this exact section on YouTube and copy it from there as well. All right, so now that we are in our audience manager, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to search for the leads to ROI audiences, because I want to build this in our own, and I don't want to mess up any of our client stuff that we're doing. What we're going to do here in the top left corner is go ahead and just click create audience. And from there, the first selection we're going to see is custom audience. So we're just going to click custom audience. Now for our source, we're going to do 2 different options on here. Number 1, I'm going to show you guys how to do this from a website and to retarget and engage. Once we get done with this, we're going to go right back into audiences, and I'm going to show you guys how to import a customer list so that you can take the list of renters that you've downloaded, plug them into Facebook, and target them on here as well. So we'll go ahead and we'll click websites, click next, and then this is just going to select right out of the gate. I've got somebody a little loud. I'm going to mute. There we go. On this, you guys, if you have it set for your source for that, just that pixel itself, it's going to select every single page, every single website that you're sending them to. So for example, if you have a specific landing page that you are sending these renters to, when they either scan the QR code or when they go to the website, we want to be able to track those folks specifically. So we're going to see the source is going to be whichever pixel you chose, And then under here, you can actually say people who visited specific web pages. So this is what I would actually recommend doing, is adding people who visited specific web pages. And then let's see if I still have that here. I'm going to go ahead and jump back over and copy this URL again. And we want to target people who specifically visited this URL that we're sending those folks from the mailer to. Now, the next step is all you have to do is go ahead. I would actually say retention. I would bring this up to 80 days. I think you can do 180 days max on this. If we go to 181, it's going to say no. So you can re-engage these folks for, I believe, what is that, 6 months total. You can re-engage these folks for. And then what you can do is name this audience. So I'll just name this renters. And then if you choose to, you can plug in a description. You don't have to. What we're then going to go ahead and do is just say create audience. So now we've got an audience that's created. Anybody that goes and lands on that particular landing page is now being targeted by this particular audience created from your Facebook pixel. We're already tracking them, but now we have specifics. This person visited this site. They must have came from this piece of direct mail, right? Now, that is one audience that we need to create, and that's for folks that have visited your site. Now, the next one is going to be creating an audience based off of your customer list. So this is going to be importing a CSV that you've already downloaded with information that you've grabbed. Let me actually jump into Mailbox Power. I'm pretty sure I've got one to download because I bought one, a list for one of our clients in Vegas a while back. So let's go into mailing lists. Oh, they're under contacts now. So let's just go ahead and download. I select all of them. When you purchase the list from Mailbox Power, it downloads it automatically for you as one. So I'm going to go up here and I'm just going to say export all contacts. There we go. And yes, I'm sure I want to export all contacts. Abercrombie, I wonder if he's part of the Hollister and Co. All right, so I've now downloaded those contacts as a CSV. What I'm going to do now with this CSV here is I'm going to say create audience, and we're going to say custom audience. The major difference here is instead of saying our source is a website, our source is going to be a customer list. We're going to select next. The next thing that we'll do on this page, this is just telling us how we have to set up this doc so that we can submit it through. And there are some changes I need to make because I just realized this is saved as an XLS doc and it needs to be saved as a CSV. So I'm going to go in and browse. I'm going to plug this into my downloads so it's really easy for me to find. And then I'm going to go ahead and just save this as a CSV, comma delimited. And we go ahead and just click save from here. So now I have this doc saved as a CSV, which means I can upload and use it on Facebook. So I'm just going to go ahead and click next. This is going to ask us for customer value. So this is primarily something that's used for retail or for e-commerce, excuse me. You guys don't really need to worry about customer value because pretty much all of these customers that you're going to be targeting are first-time customers. So we don't have a value as far as what we profited from them the previous time that we worked with them. So we can skip this step. What we do here is we simply just click upload. I'm going to go to my downloads and I'm going to find that contacts. So now that I've selected this here, you can actually change the name of this audience. So let's just say this is renters contact list. And we can go ahead and select next. So it tells us that we need more unique identifiers than what was actually selected. So on this list, you can see that we have things like first name, we have last name. So we need to make sure that we just map those fields. So here's last name. So we just need to scroll down and map this to last name. Now, street address is something that we cannot use in Facebook to map. If you look, we don't have an option for street address. But the cool thing is Facebook can use their city and they can use their state and their zip so that we can pinpoint that exact person and start marketing in front of them on Facebook. So we're just going to go ahead and select those particular parameters. So we've got, if we go back to mapped, you can see that we've got first name mapped to first name, last name's mapped to last name, city, city, state, state, zip, zip, and country. So now Facebook is going to have a really good idea of who each one of these individuals are, when we go ahead and market to them, the likelihood of having two Jan heiresses in the same zip code is pretty slim. It's not 100% unrealistic if you're in a very large major metro area, but Facebook's going to do a really good job of pinpointing exactly who you're getting in front of. So all we have to do now is click import and create, and Facebook is going to go through the steps now, or go through the process to upload this list so that we now have it loaded into Facebook. And you can see we had 4,001 rows in there. Hint you guys, the very first row is first name, last name, address, all of that info. We've got 4,000 contacts that we just uploaded that we can start targeting directly on Facebook with advertisements. Okay, so that is through the second page of this slide, or third page of this slide today, teaching you guys, number one, we've gone ahead and we've shown you how to create a pixel and get your pixel added into your websites or funnels. Now we've also shown you guys how to create an audience from the folks that have landed on that specific landing page so that you can then re-engage them on Facebook. And we're also showing you how to take the exact same list of folks that we're going to be direct mailing and loading them directly in to Facebook so that we can target specifically to them. You guys, we don't actually have to wait until they've received your piece of direct mail before we re-engage them. But I recommend a very specific message to those that have landed on that page from receiving your direct mail. And so we're going to kind of get into that here in just a moment. And now we're also showing you guys how to target the audience without them landing on the page. So here's how we're going to go about creating a workflow in Leads to ROI. So we want to make sure that any of these folks that actually, I'm going to move this slide down towards the end because this is going to be additional retargeting. Let's go ahead and walk straight into launching these ads on Facebook with these specific audiences for you guys. It looks like I have, okay, it was Colin. Saw a couple of messages on there. So let's go ahead and jump into Ads Manager and Ads Manager itself. So you guys, all we have to do to create an ad for this, we just have to go ahead and click create. And what I recommend on all of these, even though we've already got some of their information from Mailbox Power, we want to make sure that we're capturing their most up-to-date info and we're gathering information about what they're looking for in their next home. So I'm going to take you through two different ad build types. One is going to be through Facebook, and the other one is through Listings to Leads, which is a platform that we provide to agents that sign up with Leads to ROI. We give it at every package level because, yes, it is a phenomenal CRM with a ton of power behind it, and you can automate literally anything under the sun CRM-wise with it. But we also want to be able to collect and capture as much info as humanly possible at the lowest cost necessary. So Listings to Leads is a tool that we offer that allows you guys to send out Facebook lead gen or Facebook ads, and it takes about 30 seconds to set up those Facebook ads. Ridiculously fast. But for those folks that aren't in Leads to ROI and are using KV Core, I still want to walk you guys through how to build the ad from scratch in Facebook Ads Manager. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on leads because we want them to fill out a form on Facebook. It's the most cost-effective advertising that you can run on Facebook. You can generally pick up leads for anywhere from $2 to $6 cost per lead. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click continue. Well, we do that. If you're building them yourself, probably going to come in under $10 to $15 cost per lead. But we've got a lot of folks that figure it out quickly and get things rocking and rolling. The very first thing that we have to do, this is all real estate related. Facebook's hands have been tied. They can't do any redlining. They can't do anything that's outside of the Fair and Equal Housing Act. So that means that we have to make sure that we select the right type of category of ad. If we do not do this particular step, Facebook will deny your ad from running, and they will then actually create a higher cost basis for your advertising. That's right. Every time you have a mistake when building an ad on Facebook, it then increases your cost per market, which is how much it costs to put you in front of 1,000 eyeballs on Facebook. So every time we make an error and we have something that needs to be reviewed or something that gets rejected by Facebook, our cost per market tiers up and up and up and up and up and up. So it's extremely important that if you guys are going to set these up yourself, you absolutely must click this drop down for special ad category and select housing. This is going to save you precious advertising budget, and it's going to make sure that you guys don't end up having to pay exorbitant rates to Facebook in order to get in front of 1,000 people. We're going to name this renters into buyers. And I'm actually going to copy this because I'm going to add this name on every single one of these pages. And I'm going to do that first, so then I can just move right back into everything else. This way we've got names on everything. So once you've gone ahead and selected special ad audience here, all we have to do at this point in time is go ahead and click next. It's going to drive us into the second section of the page. Now we can select where we want to get these leads from. We can either have it go from a website, we can have it come from an instant form. We can have those leads driven to Messenger so we can start a conversation with them. We can have them call you directly, or we can have them go to download a specific app. The instant form, you guys, is going to have the highest level of conversion. Anytime someone moves from Facebook's platform to another platform, meaning you use the browser inside of Facebook, people recognize they're no longer on Facebook, and you get a much lower rate of conversion on those folks. So we're going to go with instant form so we can keep the rate as high as humanly possible. Now, if you are an EXP guy or gal that's gone through our BKU courses, then I would recommend making sure that you have your catalog set up, and you guys can go ahead and use your IDX catalogs in here. You can see we've got a whole bunch of them that are listed in this. For those that don't have them, we're going to show you how to build that ad on the other side without that. I'd recommend running this at about $10 cost per day. But you guys, this is going to boil down to how many ads are currently running in your market. Can I have a random person in the crowd go ahead and just raise their hand, and then we'll unmute you and find out where you're located. So somebody could go ahead and use the raise hand function on Zoom. That will help me out. Awesome. Merlene.
Hey, Shirley, New York.
Okay, let's go ahead and take a look. So you guys, facebook.com/ads/library.
A great tool, guys.
This is a way that you can spy on all your competitors.
Yep.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and type in the city, and we can see Shirley, New York populates right here. Now what this is going to tell us, we've got about 930 results in Shirley, New York for ads that are currently running related to housing. So this is all the ads that your competitors are currently running, Merlene, in your marketplace. Now, if we have under 3,000 ads that are running, I recommend starting about $10 cost per day on your ad. If you are running over 3,000 ads in your local market, I'd say start at $15 to $20 cost per day in marketing. It's really going to boil down to how much competition you guys have in your local marketplace as to what kind of budget you want to put in place for the ads that you're going to be running. So looks like we also have looks like we've got a Russia-Ukraine banner. Okay, cool. So you guys, once you've gone ahead and looked at Facebook ads manager, or excuse me, ads library, and determined how many ads are running in your marketplace, go ahead and set your budget in here. So we're going to set this for $10 a day, and we're actually going to go ahead and set this up to target Shirley, New York. Actually, I don't have to do that, but we will, just to show you guys what to do. So what you would do here is under your audiences for settings, you can see we have United States, 18 to 65, all genders. We can't change any of these settings with the Fair and Equal Housing Act, and I think that's just fine. We go ahead and we click edit on here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to then go ahead and just select and type in on the box Shirley, and it should pop up Shirley, New York right here. Now we've got Shirley, New York, and a 15-mile radius of our location. Now, the next thing that we can do on this is make sure that we are targeting that specific list of renters. So now we can go ahead and open this up, and we can select this renters all contact. Now, you guys, this is important. You can see there's a differentiation here. Renters is website here. Renters contact list is a customer list. So this is to actually use that customer list. So we'll go ahead and click that. And for time purposes, you guys, since I can see we've only got about 18 minutes left, I'm not gonna be able to get through everything if I don't do this a little bit shorter. You guys, so 2 separate ads. One ad would be to your website audience. The other ad would be to your contact list that you've just uploaded. The contact list that you've just uploaded will be a different message from the website visitors. So the website visitors, I would actually, and I'll show you guys, I'll actually break this down on the next page, but you're going to want to select this for each one of these different ad types. Go ahead and use automatic placements. What Facebook's going to do is they're going to put your ad out there in all of the different placements. And if we have underperformers, it's going to just stop your production of the ad in that placement. So if we don't have anybody that clicks on placement A is going to get removed, and we're going to focus on placement B, C, D, E, and F, all the way down to Z. It'll make sure that you get the best placements, which is going to help your ad convert at a much higher level. From here, we go ahead and we click next. What we want to do is go ahead and select our creative on this. Now you guys can see, because this is from the leads to ROI page, this isn't a real estate page. We've got a photo with our logo and all of the different softwares that you guys can actually get rid of to use leads to ROI. So there's like 20 something different pieces of software you guys can throw out the window with our platform. Super cool. But we'll go ahead and change this image up. So let's go ahead and add an image, see what we actually have loaded into the page. Cool. So we've got a sold, I'm just going to use this one for right now. And once it's loaded, we're going to go ahead and click done. So this is a gentleman handing over the keys to what would presumably be a new buyer. And so let's do 2 different pieces of copy really quick, and I'm going to do this off the top of my head. So the first piece of copy that I'd recommend doing on this, and this is if we're just sending that list out to the whole contact list of renters. These folks haven't hit our website yet. So for these folks, let's go ahead and send out a message. Did you know that when interest rates increase, you will more than likely pay more for your mortgage, even if the housing market crashes? Right? Something like that. Just punch them right in the face. This is a true and accurate statement. If we have our interest rates go up by 0.25%, a $350,000 house today with our mortgage rates right now will be less expensive than a $300,000 mortgage if we, in the event that we have a crash. What I would say for the headline is something like "Fire your landlord." Grow your wealth, right? So something like that. Fire your landlord, grow your wealth. We've got an image of a realtor handing keys over to new home buyers. And did you know that when interest rates increase, you will more than likely pay more for your mortgage, even if the housing market crashes, right? Something along those lines. I would actually keep this "Fire your landlord" headline, grow your wealth. And the message that I would send to folks that have hit your landing page and have already received your postcard, I would straight up say, "Hey, I saw you visited the site on my postcard. Thanks for doing that. Please fill out the form below to get started on the home buying process." Super simple. We're calling them out. We saw that you'd visited our site from the postcard. Thanks for doing it. Fill out the form below to get started on the home buying process. Then we have the "Fire your landlord, grow your wealth" to catch their attention. Now you guys can see that we do have a handful of questions that are on here. Let's go ahead and create a new form though, so that you guys can see a different form. And actually, let me do this a little bit quicker and easier just because of time. So listings to leads, I'm going to create the form here and just have a push. Well, actually, I should walk you guys through the form creation. So let's go ahead and dive in to create the form. We're going to go ahead and hit continue. The very first step that I do on this, and there is a full walkthrough on creating this form in here as well. Then we're going to go into listings to leads. Then we're going to go into creating the audience workflow and leads to ROI, if we can get to that today. So the form itself is in here. There's step-by-step instructions for creating it. So you guys will get that with the slideshow when we're ready. First thing that I recommend when creating a form on Facebook, go into the settings. You'll notice that Facebook forms are set automatically to restricted. So the only people who are delivered your ad directly can submit this form. We don't want that, right? I can tell you right now that if I go and fill out a bunch of information for purchasing a home and I don't talk to my wife about it, and that person ends up calling my landline, which I know it's crazy, I still have one, and my wife picks up the phone, she's going to scratch her head and say, hey, what are you doing? I didn't know we were looking for a house, right? So I would recommend that you open this form up. What this is going to do is it's going to allow anybody that's delivered your ad to click a button to share. They can either share it to their Facebook page or they can share it in Messenger. And in most cases, they're sharing it with their spouse. So go ahead and open it up so that you can have folks share your ad. We're going to jump back over to content then, and we'll go ahead and we will name this Renter to Home Buyer. All right. And then intro questions. We can simply go ahead and use the background image from your ad unless you have a specific image you would like to use. In that event, you click use image, click upload, grab an image from your computer and import it into Facebook. We're just going to use the one from the ad. Now, we do need to create a short, brief little greeting. And so I'm going to start this out. It's time to invest in you, right? And then we will say, is the easiest path in America to generating individual wealth. All right, so very simple, very brief. It's time to invest in you. Homeownership is the easiest path in America to generating individual wealth, which is 100% true. It's the largest investment that just about everybody makes in their life is purchasing a home. You can break this down two different ways. You can either do it like this, or you can do a list that's going to give you bullet points. We actually have ad examples with bullet points in Beano University. Those bullet points are select the number of beds and baths you're looking for in your next home, choose your price range or your desired price range, let us know the time frame that you're looking to move, and find your home. So we just kind of walk them through what this path is going to do for them if we do bullet lists, but the paragraph will do the exact same thing. Under questions, you're going to have a handful of questions that are automatically selected, which is going to be email and full name. I'm actually going to delete that full name. Just about every CRM, leads to ROI, can take it with full name, no problem. But just about every other CRM on the sun, you need to differentiate the first name and the last name so that you can properly upload those contacts into your CRM. So we've got first name, last name. We also want to make sure that we get the contact's phone number. I'm going to put the phone number before the email because I feel that we go in the order of importance, right? Then what we're going to do is we're going to actually add some additional questions. So you can see we have add category here. We're actually going to move up and we're going to click add questions and we're going to do multiple choice. We're going to say how many beds / baths would you like in your new home? And then we'll go ahead and just give them the options: 1 bed, 1 bath, 2 bed, 1 bath, 2 bed, 2 bath, 3 bed, 2 bath, 3 bed, 3 bath, 4 bed, 2 bath, 4 bed, 3 bath, right? So now we've got these questions added in. Now we'll go ahead and add the next question. So multiple choice. what is your desired price range? And so with this, I would just do options. So I would say 400K through 500K. Then I would do 500K through 600K. Then I would do 600K through 700K. You can do as many of these as you would like. Typically, we start somewhere around the 250 range and go all the way up to $1 million plus. It depends on the market that you are in, though. Make sure that the price ranges are relevant to your market. Next thing that we're going to do is add another question, and we're going to ask them, what is your time frame to move? Now, these are the most important part of this, these questions. So we're going to say now, we're going to say 1 through 3 months. We're going to say 3 through 6 months. We're going to say 6 through 12 months. Next year, or let's just say just dreaming. All right. So why would these questions be so important, or why would these questions be the most important aspect of this that you guys might ask? The largest hurdle that we have heard from agents, the biggest challenge that you guys have when working with internet leads, is that you guys don't know what to say when you get the lead on the phone. You've got their name, you've got their phone number, you've got their email, and you know they're interested in something related to buying or selling a home. That's typically about as much information as you're going to get from most internet lead sources and most internet leads that are out there. With this, before they submit their form, they actually, number one, if you're just collecting name, number, email, it's 2 clicks of a button on Facebook and the form's completed. Right? So a lot of folks will complete the form and won't even realize that they completed it. So this stops people in their tracks. They actually have to select their number of beds and baths that they're looking for in their next home. They actually have to select their desired price range, and they actually have to select their time frame to move. So when you get this lead on the phone and they say, hey, actually I filled that form out by mistake, or I don't know what you're talking about, I don't remember filling anything out on Facebook. Well, our records indicate that you were looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house between $600,000 and $700,000, and you wanted to move within the next 1 to 3 months. Is that correct? You're going to jog their memory, and you're going to be able to continue that conversation on. So once you've got these things added in, the next thing that you guys are going to want to do is go ahead and add a privacy policy link in. So you have to use a link from either your website, your landing page, wherever it is. I'm just going to go to Kelly Wheeler. Wait, no, it's actually KW the Ninja, or KW the Realtor, right? I believe this is Kelly's website. Okay, so kwtherealtor.com. If you guys go into your website, whether it's leads to ROI, we've got a privacy policy for you, or if it's through your guys' KV Core or third-party system, you need a privacy policy to run ads on Facebook. So go and grab your privacy policy. You're just going to paste that link in here. And then once they've completed, we just need to select another page of where we want to send them to. So for Kelly's, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm actually going to select the search page so that people can start searching. And this one right here is going to show all of the listings that EXP or your brokerage owns, which Kelly, we got to get your MLS updated. It's missing a bunch of your listings. But this actual search will show all of the listings that are available in the MLS. So what I would do is I would actually take this URL for the search, and I would plug this into the end of your guys's form itself. So we've got the link here, and then we can change this button. And instead of saying view website, you can say view listings now. All right, we'll go ahead and plug this into the call to act. Oh, wait, we can't plug it in the call to action. But the button is going to say view listings now. So when they click on it, it will drive to this search page so they can automatically start searching for homes. Now all we have to do is click this publish button. Let people know how you use their data. Oop, excuse me. We will be contacting you shortly. So this is something Facebook didn't used to make you add in, but now they do. So you guys just go ahead and add in a description, letting them know how you're going to use their information. We'll be contacting you shortly. They know we're going to call, text, email them, all that good stuff. Go ahead and click publish. It's going to save your form, and then we just click publish down here, and this ad will go live. You want to make sure that you have your website events clicked here. Make sure that you have a pixel that is showing up right here as a default picture or pixel, excuse me, and then publish. It will go live. All right, so that's the long way. That's the hard way to build out your Facebook ads. I'm going to show you guys how to do this with listings to leads and the recommended ad that I would like for you guys to use inside of listings to leads. And then once we're done with this particular aspect of it, that will conclude the live training for today, because we are just coming up on that 1 hour mark and we're about at the end of what we can run.
Bryan,
So,
can I cut in for 2 seconds?
Go ahead, Kelly.
For those of you that are still here, I know a couple of people have kicked out. I wanted to let you guys know, if you are in eXp's workplace, go ahead and find the group called Drip Campaigns Agent Share Group. Again, Drip Campaigns Agent Share Group. This is a group I created. About 500 agents are part of that group right now. All of our KV Core Drip emails that I currently use, they are there. So you guys can grab those campaigns if you want. And it's my gift to you guys. So make sure, again, you go to Drip Campaigns Agent Share Group, join it, and grab those email campaigns. All right, Bryan, thank you.
Absolutely. All right, you guys. So once you are logged into listings to leads, for those of you that have this platform, all you're gonna do is go ahead and click on ads. From ads, what we're going to do is say create PDF guide. And you guys, I've got the walkthrough here as well that walks through exactly what I'm going to take you through. And this little caveat's also for your guys' ad spend, so that you can determine under 3,500 ads in your market, $10 a day. Over this should just be 4,000, not $4,000. Over 4,000 ads, $15 per day. So that way you guys have that too. Once we're completed, you guys get a little key. What we're going to do here is we're going to search for first time. That's it. Now you can see we've got a first time home buyer PDF guide. Go ahead and click create ad. And from here, it's going to go ahead and create the ad for us automatically. First time home buyers guide from mortgage to moving truck, right? And then the first thing that you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to click retarget current leads. Now this is going to allow listings to leads to pull your current audiences. You do have to start typing them in, and then you can find them. I do not actually have listings to leads tied to the leads to ROI Facebook page. Actually, it is. So it should be pulling this. Give me 1 second. Let's see. This may not actually be tied to my business account though. Give me 1 second, you guys. Let me take a look and see what's going on, because it should automatically pull that. Ads. Wouldn't be able to get into ads if we weren't already connected. Go ahead and refresh this. Back into ads. There we go. All right, so I need to select the correct page. Give me 1 second, you guys. I guess I should have said a minute. Looks like I do not actually have leads to ROI connected in here. Do I have Kelly in here? All right. I'm actually going to grab somebody else really quick just so I can show you how to do this.
Brian, I'm logging into mine. Do you want to?
Actually, yeah, Kelly, if you can go ahead and share your screen.
Yeah, I want them to. I want them to see this.
Some technical difficulties, make things easy for everyone.
Go ahead and take over control, Brian, if you want.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Kelly.
Welcome.
All right, guys, and yours is actually going to look just like this with the blue side. We have a brokerage account, so that's why we have the red bar on the left instead of the blue. So this is exactly what your guys are going to look like. Notice you also have a custom audience section here, so you can actually create your own custom audiences inside of Listings to Leads instead of in Facebook. It's the exact same process though, but it's just something you can do in Listings to Leads, which is cool. So we're going to click on this Create PDF Ad, and then we're going to search for first time, and it's going to bring up that first time home buyer PDF. So we're going to search for first time. Boom. And now we have our first time home buyers guide. We click Create Ad. And I don't believe that we have a renter audience for Kelly loaded into his Facebook yet, but we do have a FSBO, correct? Let's just look. FSBO. Anyways, what you would do in this particular section is just enter in the name of that audience. It will populate from your Facebook, and you go ahead and just select that audience there. Kelly, it looks like we're in all things Claremont, Florida. So Kelly has multiple Facebook pages just like we do. So we're experiencing the same issue on either side of the coin. No big deal. What we would do is go ahead and type in the name of the audience that you created on Facebook, and it's going to populate here, and you'll just select that audience. It'll show up just like this FSBO is, but instead of having red around it, it's just going to show you with a gray box that it's been added to the account. First thing that you're going to want to do is select your location, which already should be there, but because of the multiple pages, they want us to go ahead and add our location in. For Kelly, it's Claremont, Florida. So if we just type in Claremont, it's going to automatically populate that it's Claremont, Florida. And here we go. Now that we're in Claremont, the next thing that we're going to do is just click on advanced options here. Go ahead and scroll down and click create new form. Now we've worked with Listings to Leads, and we've had all of these questions added to their forms so that we can simplify the process for you guys right out of the gate. So all you guys actually have to do with this one is scroll down. We can see that time frame to buy is already pre-selected for every single one of our buyer lead gen ads that we can plug in. But now we've got how many beds and baths would you like in your new home, and you can see with predefined options here. If you hover over, it's going to give you all of the predefined options that populate. Go ahead and just turn this on. Then we'll go down to what is your desired price range. Go ahead and turn this on. And then all you have to do is click create form. Once the form is created and your budget is what you'd like it to be, so this is set for lifetime budget, I would actually move this over to daily. And I would say $10 a day, just based off of what we've already researched. Even though it's not Claremont, we're going off of the New York stuff. And then all you're going to do is scroll down to the bottom and just go ahead and click publish. And your ad is going to go live. Typically it takes anywhere from 5 minutes to an hour for your ad to go live from Listings to Leads. So click that button, your ads go live. And this is an example of leads that have been generated in this platform. And Kelly, I think you're running about $2 per lead average, right?
For buyer leads, $1 to $2. And what I have found with the buyer leads is a portion of these buyers are also have a home to sell. So it's one of the least expensive ways that I've found to generate buyer leads. You can also generate seller leads. There's so much more you can do with the platform, but for the application Brian just shared with you guys, for those of you that are not tech savvy, you literally can launch a Facebook campaign in under 2 to 3 minutes. It'll get approved within 30 minutes to a couple hours. I'm getting these things approved within a half an hour. And guys, I'm generating leads that day, phone number, email, the page that they came off of, and name. I know we're late, we're done, but the marketing you can get from that. Imagine generating 200 of these a month for under $400. If you generate 200 of these a month, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 potential closings every month with this once you've got them in your pipeline. Very inexpensive way to do it.
And also, you guys, with these, by signing up with Leads to ROI, everybody gets an account with Listings to Leads, right? So it's something that we give out. We incur the cost for Listings to Leads in our corporate account so that you guys can have access to this. If we go and download this down payment assistance, for example,
and it's got Spanish or English.
Yeah, well, I don't want to do Spanish, but you can do Spanish or English. We're just going to go ahead and click and download one of these. What I want to show you guys, though, is that as soon as you guys are logged into this, you can see Real Estate Ninjas here, all of Kelly's logo, his info. It's all listed here, who he's brokered with. So you guys will have custom branded PDFs right out of the gate.
We call these ebooks too, Bryan. So in your marketing, you literally can send this as a quote ebook unquote to your contact within your email. Think of the juice you can get on your emails by providing these very valuable ebooks on multiple topics. All of that's branded to the agent.
One of the things we highly recommend doing with these as well is sprinkling them into your follow-up campaigns. So as you're sending out emails, as you're sending out text messages, if you can have a link to a Google Drive, or if you actually just send this as an attachment in an email, you're educating that buyer or seller with your follow-up process. That does two things. Number one, it helps build trust in that particular lead. And number two, it gives you a little something to talk about when you get on the phone with them. Because in Leads to ROI, you're going to see who opened an email. You're going to be able to see who clicked on something in the email. So you know if they opened it up and if they viewed it. So then you've got a little conversation starter to bring to the table right out of the gate and chat with them once you get them on the phone. Another little thing before we part on this meeting is, I know Kelly wanted to cover this, but we didn't have a ton of time for it in our training today. Kelly, go ahead and chat with them about some of the additional marketing tools that they can receive or utilize through Listings to Leads.
You got it. So guys, within our platform, Leads to ROI, like you said, you get this whole software at a massive, I mean, it's included. Here's some things you can do with this. If you guys have followed me on social media, Inside of Workplace, YouTube, this is where I create my free for sale by owner websites that I give away for appointments. So when I go into my listing, and I'll show you an example of one. Here is a generic site that I put together that is a for sale by owner, and here's what it looks like. And I can create one of these in under 5 minutes for a for sale by owner. And my pitch is, hey, how would you like to have a very good website created just for your home that has your contact, has a scheduling bar put in, and you can share it on Facebook and on Zillow. You get your own URL, everything. It's your marketing juggernaut, and I will create this for you. So here's one of the things that they get within Listings to Leads. You can also do a lot of social posting. They just allowed you, because they have got so much content. And Bryan, I'm so sorry. The internet's running real slow right now. But guys, I've got you see all this content? All of this content is created by them, branded to me, and it's now posting on my Twitter account. It's posting on multiple Facebook pages. And it also, if you had Instagram, would do there. There's multiple sites that you could literally schedule all your social media stuff. And what's really great about it, guys, is the content is not BS. It's very valuable content. And it's branded right back to you with landing capture pages built right in. And again, this is one of the things that our members, our coaching clients get inside of the platform. Bryan just showed you it's got PDF guides. One of the things, though, that they just started giving us is, let me see if I can find it. Bryan, help me real quick. Library. I think we'll go to library. Guys, watch this. They have a slew of video. And let me see. Here we go. A slew of done for you videos, and they're generic. So you can use them on any of the PDF guides. So for instance, you could download this and use this video.
Buying your first home is so exciting. Congratulations.
It's 30 seconds long, and it will point them to your PDF, which is branded to you. And guys, there's 75 videos now that they've created for all of the members inside. And these videos, you can use them anytime you want. And again, they made them very generic. so that no matter what brokerage you're with, whether you're at EXP, Caldwell Banker, Keller Williams, it doesn't matter. These videos you can use very specific to yourself, and any email campaigns, Facebook campaigns, and all of that are things that you guys can use. And then one last thing, try to do this quickly, Bryan, because I know we're out of time. On all of your landing pages, for instance, here's a listing that I just closed on yesterday, right here. I want to show you something. And now that I went sold, let me see if they still have it. They do give you
all of your
here,
marketing materials are going to change based off of the status of your listing.
Exactly. So when this thing is live, guys, they give you a text to call feature. Now you can't, I've searched, you can no longer get a text to call feature like you get here. This company will assign a 5-digit number. For instance, it will say something like tech. Well, I'll show it to you. Here's a letter that I'm working on. This letter was created from that system, Bryan. Do you see it? I just sold this house and closed on it yesterday afternoon. This letter I downloaded from the software inside of Listings to Leads, branded to me. There it is. I simply download the letter, print it, and I can mail this letter to any house in that subdivision that I deem as worthy of my marketing. And if you follow me, you know I don't just mail to everybody in the neighborhood. I target select homeowners. So this is something you get inside of the system. But guys, look at right here. Text 140680 to 25678. That's going to send them to the landing page, which will have all of my branding. It'll talk about the reasons why we sell our homes for quicker, blah, blah, blah. And I have a special program that I run for people. If they're buying a house after I sell theirs, I give them a reduction on the commission, but that's what I do. But on the letter, you can edit it and do whatever you want to do on that letter. But look at all these marketing tools. You get lead links. They even give you the ability with the push of one button. If you have a YouTube channel, to create a YouTube video, they're usually 2 to 3 minutes long. It will create the video for you with all of the pictures that you've uploaded or it's taken from the MLS. It'll upload the pictures, put your branding all over the video. And at the very last 5 to 8 to 10 seconds of the video, it brings up your logo, your picture, everything, your phone number, and it attaches music to the video, and then we'll send it to your YouTube channel automatically. So those are just some of the things, Bryan, that people can get within the Listings to Leads system.
And you know, something I haven't looked into before, but I just did. With Listings to Leads, you guys, or with Mailbox Power, excuse me, you guys can also send an 8.5 by 11 single-sided letter through the platform. So you could essentially take this letter from your just sold property. You could pinpoint and target within 0.5 miles to 1 mile radius of that listing. And you can go ahead and drop a letter in everybody's mailbox within 0.5 to 1 mile radius of that listing, letting them know that you just sold their neighbor's house and figuring out if they want to list theirs too. So you guys, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this meeting. I want to make sure that we can answer any questions that anybody has. We're already a little bit over, so please be somewhat brief, and we'll try to be as brief as we can on the answers. But does anybody have any questions for us on what we have covered today?
I do.
Go ahead, Sue.
Hey, Bryan, so when you showed us the long way with Facebook, it's a way we could do, but Listings to Leads shortcuts at all of that. Is that correct?
Listings to Leads shortcuts all of that, absolutely. So for those that are enrolled in Leads to ROI, we've got a lot more folks joining these live trainings than what we've been used to, Sue. And so for those folks that are enrolled in Leads to ROI, Listings to Leads is going to be the way to go. It's 30 seconds to 2 minutes to have your ad built out, unless you want to make a lot of significant changes. And that's what we'd recommend. For the folks, though, that are on the outside or on the fence and haven't joined yet, we want to make sure that we can give them the option so they can still see the benefits of this on their own if they choose to build things themselves.
Hey, Bryan, it's Jim.
We can definitely get with you. Hey, Jim, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. Hey, thanks for jumping on with William this morning. I just watched that video. It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for what you guys do. I mean, these trainings are phenomenal. It's it's just finding time to implement them and put them in place. That's the biggest deal. But can we get the slides?
Absolutely. So the slides, I'm going to be giving those out to everybody that's joined these trainings in the Facebook group, but I'm actually going to complete this course series. So on Tuesday, we did the very first half of this, or first portion of this. And so as you can see here, we've covered the data providers on Tuesday. Today we cut and direct mail. Today we covered the Facebook ads portion. I've got 3 or 4 more sections to go through with this, and then once we're done with these last 4 sections, we're going to put this slide deck out as a whole for everyone to be able to access. But until I've completed the slide deck, I'm adding these every day before we go live. So this is all brand new content. We're not redoing any of our stuff for you guys, all brand new content when you get it. Then we'll get that slide deck out to you. If you'd like though, Jim, I can send these some of these instructions over to you, because I'm sure that's kind of what you're looking for, right?
Yeah, that'd be great. I appreciate that for sure.
Awesome. Thanks, Jim.
All righty. Thank you.
And then you and I need to meet soon, by the way. I'd like to meet with you tomorrow afternoon if we could.
Agreed. Let's do that.
Sounds good. All right. Any other questions?
Hey, Bryan, it's Angela. What's the link to the Facebook group again?
Yes. So the Facebook group is facebook.com/groups/leads to ROI.
Okay.
And I will go ahead and add that in the chat.
Thank you.
There we go. And we need to add the video from last week too, or from Tuesday is on here as well. But there we go. And I'll upload that into the group when the time comes. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Next week on Tuesday, we will be picking up this live training series. And on Tuesday, we're going to dive into the very next aspect of this, which is going to be uploading audiences and marketing on Google and YouTube. So it's going to be a super exciting course that we're going to cover. We have never done a course teaching folks how to use Google and YouTube. Something that we have just done internally through our advertising, through our agency. So I'm looking forward to share something completely fresh and new with all of you guys. It's not new to us, but sharing it and coaching on it is. So I'm excited to put this new content out in front of you guys. We'll see you next week on Tuesday, and we'll be covering YouTube and Google ads at that point in time. Depending on how much time we have at the end of that, we may jump into setting up automated saved search alerts in KV Core as well, based off of this advertising type that we just built from Facebook. So we'll be talking to you guys next Tuesday. I look forward to seeing you guys all then. Thank you so much for joining today.